A thread by Carlos Osuita. Game over. President Trump will be reelected in a landslide. For the first time in American history, the Republicans have beaten the Democrats in new voter registration. Link in the thread to a video from liberal hive mind. Democrats losing big as Biden fails to increase Democrat registration. Carlos continues. The Democrats go into the election with the same number of voters as they had in 2016, and a very large percentage of those Democrats will be voting for Trump. Biden is done. How strange. Could there be a reason why this happened? Actually, there are almost too many reasons to count. Biden is senile. Biden has a 47-year career of no accomplishments. Biden's platform is full of leftist radicalism that will destroy the country. Biden says we must elect him to learn his positions. Biden is 100% negative. Biden speaks as though the public is nothing but peons. Kamala Harris is one of the most repulsive politicians in American history. Harris has a record of open corruption and incompetence. Harris supports endless rioting. The Democratic Party supports endless rioting. Radical leftists refuse to give us a moment's peace unless we surrender. The Democratic Party is calling for the political, economic, academic, judicial, legal, historical, and social extermination of the entire race. The Democrat media is calling for the censorship of political dissent. Democrat science is calling for the censorship of political dissent. The Democrats are calling for the abolition of punishment of all crimes. Democrat surrogates are calling for the abolition of the police. Democrats are calling for the effective abolition of gun ownership. Democrats are calling for the U.S. to become a self-sustaining, all-encompassing ecosystem of leftist policies. And that is just off the top of my head. Trump fooled them into thinking that social media is the most important thing in the world. So he tweeted. Every Trump supporter who hates his tweets needs to get down on their knees and thank the heavens above that he tweeted. That was all it took to distract an entire political party. They missed every single thing that I saw. Some of us never lost our certainty that Trump would be easily reelected, and a lot of you reading this will sadly disagree with me. Cram it sideways. You think the Democrats have superpowers, so you're playing it with a full deck. So you're not playing with a full deck. Sorry, guys. The Democrats plowed ahead with their ludicrous notion that everybody hates Trump so much that they'll elect a potted plant to get rid of him. So the Democrats ran a potted plant. The infuriating thing about defeatists is that they don't know anything, but they opine anyway. If you don't have factual information on a topic, you're not qualified to make a value judgment on it. Here's the worst mistake the Democrats made. The result of violence, verbal attacks, psychological attacks, threats of violence, threats of property destruction, threats of impacting employment, threats of academic retaliation, threats of career destruction, and threats of public exposure. The Democrats made it impossible to know who supports Trump. If you have no blooming idea what Trump's level of support is, you can't win. There's no way to know whom you have to reach or how to do it. The Democrats were Trump's best allies. The final layer on the Democrat horror show was the non-stop lecturing from athletes and entertainers, and the rabid invective from Hollywood icons, and the implosion of the party is complete. There wasn't a single thing the Democrats did right. And now they get to pay the butcher's bill. Democrats told us in unambiguous language that unless we turned against Trump, they'd continue to behave like savages. Of course, this backfired. All they had to do was look at London during both world wars. I'll end with an excerpt from Death of a Zeppelin by Michael McDonough, describing the shooting down of L-31 on October 1st, 1916. It was commanded by Heinrich Matthey, who became world famous and was the only member of the crew to jump rather than burn to death. Quote, I saw high in the sky a concentrated blaze of searchlights, and in its center a ruddy glow which rapidly spread into the outline of a blazing airship. Then the searchlights were turned off, and the Zeppelin drifted perpendicularly in the darkened sky, a gigantic pyramid of flames, red and orange, like a ruined star falling slowly to earth. Its glare lit up the streets and gave a ruddy tint even to the waters of the Thames. The spectacle lasted 2 or 3 minutes. It was so horribly fascinating that I was spellbound, almost suffocated with emotion, ready hysterically to laugh or cry. When, at last, the doomed airship vanished from sight, there arose a shout, the like of which I never heard in London before, a hoarse shout of mingled execration, triumph, and joy, a swelling shout that appeared to be rising from all parts of the metropolis, ever increasing in force and intensity. It was London's Te Deum for another crowning deliverance. The Democrat Zeppelin is going down. On election night, prepare for that hoarse shout of mingled execration, triumph, and joy. Nationwide,
I will be the greatest president that God ever created.